Well, hey family, this is Darlene. I am sitting here. I'm still working on product for the fair marketplace, and they have that event, marketplace event coming up in July. So it'll be, I think, July. I forget the first day, but I think it's the first day. It's like open access for, I guess, like certain businesses or whatever that are a part of fair. And then I believe it opens up the July 18th and 19th for everybody else to shop. So what I'm doing is I'm working on product for um for my fair store. So I'm working on earrings right now. And I'm sitting here and I'm going to make a lot. When I say a lot of these earrings here, I'm thinking I want to make at least maybe 40 pair. So I just started, and these are, two of the pair. So I'm working on a third pair right now. So I said, well, I'm going to take some time and just work on, product for that marketplace. And then not only those beads, I'm going to be using some of these smaller beads as well. I think these are 8 or 9 millimeter. So I'm going to use these, and probably these beads right here are going to come out um, with making something like these, like dangle earrings. And then I'm also going to use some of these beads right here. And then I have some other ones over here that are drying. So I have some other colors, yellows, all type of color wash, the little green ones, like a lot of different colors that I'm going to be using, to make not necklaces, but to make a lot of earrings to put on fair. So that's what I was doing now, and I am going to make a pair on video. So I already cut my wire. Somebody had asked me about wire, and she was saying something about I use a lot of wire. I use a lot of wire because I like using a lot of wire, and I use a lot of wire because I like to do wire designs pretty much. When I'm making something. So that doesn't mean that you have to use a lot of wire, but I like using a lot of wire. So and I think I talked about that. In fact, I know I talked about that in a video the other day about making your product or your designs different, than what you see everybody else doing. Just because everybody else uses a size 10 millimeter bead, that does not mean you have to use a 10 millimeter bead. Just because everybody is using gold wire, that does not mean you have to use gold wire. If you like silver, use silver. There's a lot of people who like silver. Because I run into a lot of people when I'm selling. They be like, "You don't have no silver, ma'am. Only what's there." But a lot of people like, silver. And if you don't like using, wood beads, by all means, use whatever type of bead, that you like using. And I've said that more times than one. I think any designer, creator, whomever they are, they're only for inspiration, not for you to duplicate. So you could see something and you'll see it and it'll provoke your creative thought. It's like, oh my God, I could do something even better with what she's doing right there or what he's doing right there. That's the whole point of it all. The whole point of it is to provoke creative thought, not to do exactly what somebody else is doing, not unless you like it that much where you want to do that and then add your own little spin to it. Because I have people that be saying stuff all the time about, oh, the wire, and you use so much wire. And, well, ma'am, you don't have to watch me use so much wire, okay? And I don't say that disrespectfully, but I'm just saying, it's like, well, ma'am, you don't have to watch me use all this wire because I'm going to use wire. You can believe that one. I'm going to use as much wire as they will sell to me, okay? I just happen to like wire, and I just think wire does, a lot for a piece. But that's just me, and everybody don't, have the same style as I do, and that's okay. I don't care. I don't mind. All right, so I just did that first earring. I don't even know if I was in the frame or not. I'm just running off at the mouth. Okay, so let's do this one. I take it and I pinch it. So I'm gonna roll it, turn it over like that, and then we'll just begin to wrap it. A lot of people like to use their pliers to take it and bend it back, and then you get your little nice little small perfect hoop. I don't like to do that because for me, I like it to look handmade. I like it to have those little imperfections. It just does something, adds a lot more character than if everything is perfect. I don't like a perfect piece, like perfect wire, perfect circle, perfect hoop, perfect. That don't look handmade to me. But if that's what you do, that's what you do. Okay, so we did that. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the bottom. I think I made that bottom hoop too big, but that's okay. I'm going to take a bunch of my little custom charms that I made using the frost glass beads. And I'm going to put about 4. No specific colors, like I don't care. Each earring is going to have different color beads. And I'm doing that on purpose, just to give it a nice little look. So I'll put that on there. Just roll that over like so. Close it up. And then we have the little dangle. And then we'll do our second one. Open that up. That meaning the wire a little bit. We're going to grab some more of our little custom frost beads. And then I'm just using different colors. The colors don't even have to match. I don't mind. That makes it different. I mean, you have to not be afraid to just go all out with it. You don't have to do it a certain way because somebody else is doing it something a certain way, or because everything you've seen before, had a certain type of uniformity to it. You don't have to make your pieces like that. That's what makes it different. Somebody was telling me, everybody probably knows the older lady. I forget her name, but she has this really unique style, and I think she's in her 80s or 90s. Can you imagine when she first started dressing like how she dresses? That's her style. She probably was looked at like a weirdo just because the way that she dresses and the pieces that she matched together and all that kind of stuff. You have to not be afraid. Whatever your creative spirit ask you to do, by all means, just do that. And then you'll find out it's like, oh my God, it's different than everybody else's. And that's the whole point. Okay, so that's one of those. Real simple, real easy. Real simple, real easy. Go ahead and hang that on there. Close that up. And we just made another pair of earrings that we are going to add to fair. And you can see the colors at the bottom, all the beads. So I'm gonna try to get about 40 pair of these, and then have these maybe 6 pair to a case. And this is what I was talking about. Who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were asking me about fair and about product. And I do know we as creators and designers, we kind of live in this space of oneness. Oneness in a sense of we only want to make one of something. We don't want to create a lot of something. And sometimes I don't think we really can make one of something. It just seems out of alignment for us, right? And I was saying, if it's bracelets or earrings or whatever, you can make different all you want to and just make it a case of multi-designed bracelets or multi-designed earrings. And also, a lot of those places that buy are stores and casinos and retailers and small boutiques. So some of them may want the same product, like with this. They may want 60 of these, you know, because they just want 60 of them because they want to have some of the same and they want to sell like that. But then you have boutiques or other retailers that might, where their whole inventory is just different. You're only going to get one of a kind. And I do know on Fair, you'll find those type of buyers that are on there. They want one of a kind of something. And if that is the case, you know, and they run across your store, then chances are, you know, if it's high quality, it's really pretty, it's appealing to the eye. And that's one thing too, though. Saturday at the that event that I was at, they must have had about, I can't even count them. I don't know if it was 50 or 60 vendors. They had a lot of vendors. They had a lot of vendors, but it was also a lot of foot traffic. So, and for me, I think I said that in a previous video, while I'm walking, I'm just scanning and I'm looking, right? So when you look at designs and product and it's not appealing to the eye, it's not attractive, the quality is not there, there's no way somebody should be out there trying to sell anything. And if you can look at that and you think to yourself, I wouldn't buy that, the next person is not going to buy it either. So if you think about it, when you're shopping, you want quality. You want it to be new. I was having a conversation with my niece the other day because her little boy is, how old is Caden? Maybe 8 or 9, maybe, but he's a big enough kid to know you shouldn't be touching everything. So she had a video of them and they went to one of the museums or state parks or somewhere that they went, but they were in the gift shop. And then he likes to touch everything. Like he likes to touch it, pick it up, play with it, and all that kind of stuff. And I was saying to her, when you were little, that wasn't allowed. If you're not buying it, you don't touch it. So I had to explain to her, you have to remember, you're allowing him to touch people's property. And if you think about it, somebody else's son touching the ball, touching the stuffed animals, throwing stuff up, you know, like touching everything, messing with everything. If you walk behind that kid, you're not going to buy it because it looks damaged or it looks used, right? So goes the next person that comes behind you and your son. When your son is touching everything with them dirty hands, bouncing balls, filling everything, squeezing everything, playing with it, and then putting it back on the shelf. And I had to tell her that, you know, you have to, don't let him do things like that. First of all, it's disrespectful to people's property. And second of all, he should know better. That's not what you should be letting people do. You letting your little kid, your little boy do. She was like, okay, I get it. I understand. Okay. It's like, yeah, stop doing that. But I said all that to say, if the product does not look high quality, because a lot of times you can pack, unpack, pack, unpack, pack, unpack. And then what happens is if you have papers or books or stuff, edges start to get folded, you know, like bent back, or there starts to be this kind of wear and tear on things, right? So you do have to be careful with that. And I saw a lot of that on Saturday. Like you could tell people pack and unpack, and then things start to look worn if they're not protected, you know, and people not going, and then you wonder why people not buying from your table. Well, people can see the quality of it. And that's one thing we have to be very careful of. These are really pretty, right? Or is it just me? I'm looking at these while I'm running off at the mouth, but these are really pretty. I'm going to make a bunch of these. And I'm going to use these little small beads right here too. So I'm going to do maybe, I might mix some color up with these. Not really sure yet. We'll see what happens. But I said I'm gonna keep it simple in the sense of, and then I might break it down to use just 2 beads instead of 3 beads. Because you still get a really cute little look. If I use 2, shoot, I almost want to take these apart and use just 2 beads, but I got these now, so I'm gonna have to do. And what I'm gonna probably do is make 6. I'll make 6 with 3 beads, 6 sets, 6 pairs with 3 beads, and then the rest of them I'm gonna use 2 beads. That's what I'm gonna do. That's exactly what I'm gonna do because I really like these, the color and stuff. But anyway, I'm just running off at the mouth right now. But this is what I'm working on. I'm still working on earrings for a fair. And new subscribers, I want to thank you all for subscribing. And a lot of people say that the channel does inspire them to either start back creating or to create, right? And that's what it's meant to do. It's just meant to inspire, you know, those of us who like to create, and not only just create, but do something with the designs in which you are creating. find a way to get what it is that you are designing into the world. There's a marketplace out there just waiting for you, but you have to have quality. It has to be high quality. It has to be different. It cannot be the same, um, black onyx men's bracelet that everybody else is making with the black crown. I mean, it has to be something that's just, or tiger eye with, with whatever. It has to be different. You have to find a way to make your product different. And another thing too, though, even if you are using the same beads, the way that you package your product. You could have the same bracelet that the next 10 people have, but it's the way you package, your product. And I noticed that with bracelets, people pretty much just have the bracelets just out or on the bracelet stand or, like things like such. And as I was looking on Saturday, I was thinking to myself, now, if you package that, I hope thinking to myself, not talking to people, but if you package that a little differently than what it is that you're doing, just having it out like that, more than likely you would get all the sales, right? Because the way that the table was set up, the lady's personality, the way she was dressed, like everything was just like a perfect picture. And I was just thinking, however, your bracelets and jewelry are like 10 other people up in here. But if she was to package it differently, right, she would more than likely get it because it's all about image. It's all about visual, being stimulated visually. So if you look at it and it's attractive or appealing to you when you look at it, you're drawn to it, right? So if she had her bracelets like maybe in packaging, maybe like plastic bags, and then had a nice pretty label, on the back of it or something, or even the bracelets, and you have a nice pretty tag that hangs from it, or something that's really different and stands out from everybody else. And you do have to do that. But anyway, I can't say that enough. But anyway, Darlene Knight, Jewelry by BDK. And guess what, family? I'm chatting. We'll talk soon.